covering every county. This is your statewide newscast, Arkansas Today.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The jury having reached a verdict, Ms. Geiger and your team, would you please stand? We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Amber Geiger, guilty of murder as charged in the indictment.
We start with some breaking news. Former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger has been found guilty of murder in the death of Harding alumni Botham Jean. Geiger had testified that she mistook Jean's apartment for her own after a long shift and that she believed Jean was an intruder. Geiger says she had feared for her life, which is why she went for her gun. Currently, the court is on a recess, but when that court is back in session, they will determine the sentence. She could face anywhere from 5 to 99 years in prison. Back here at home, Calvin Adams, the man who escaped from an East Arkansas prison in Bricky's, has been captured. This is him. The Arkansas Department of Corrections confirms this morning that Adams was found hiding in an air vent in the roof of their facility. Law enforcement spent Monday searching for him. Now, Adams is a convicted murderer who also escaped back in 2009. We've been told he'll be moved to a higher level lockup within the facility. West Memphis police are investigating a homicide that happened last night. Around 11, officers were called here to South 20th Street in response to shots fired. That's where they found a man. He was transported to a hospital and pronounced dead. Police are still searching for who pulled the trigger. And because money matters, the U.S. House of Representatives passing a bill with overwhelming bipartisan support allowing banks to provide services to legal marijuana businesses. Crystal Martinez shares how this bill will affect Arkansas dispensaries.
We actually attempted to set up accounts with several banks and had those accounts closed.
Eric Danielson is the owner of the Source in Bentonville. He says banks were hesitant in partnering with their business because of concerns.
Concerns because of the current federal prohibition on cannabis and the effect it could have on their core business. We had a number of accounts where we started with, so we just would move funds till we found someone that was stable and would work with us.
Lawmakers are in the process of easing that stress. Last week, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill called the Safe Banking Act that provides clarity to banks who want to offer services to legal marijuana businesses. It also prohibits the federal government from taking actions against a bank that chooses to do so.
It passed, with overwhelming bipartisan support, so I think that's a sign of things to come and hopefully a push towards a lift of the federal prohibition.
Danielson says if the bill becomes a law, it'll help them in more ways than one, starting with allowing patients to use credit cards for purchases.
What we decided to do was just to have an ATM at our location with a minimal transaction fee to try to keep the cost for the consumer down.
It'll also allow Danielson to take out loans to use towards construction, something he would have to pay out of pocket for right now.
If you're going to do an expansion or you need some operating capital, the ability to borrow some money that would really help a lot.
The Arkansas Bankers Association also weighed in on the Act's passage, saying it welcomes the bill that will help banks meet the needs of their communities.
321 representatives voted in favor of the bill, including U.S. Representative Steve Womack. Meanwhile, U.S. Representative Bruce Westerman was one of the 103 who voted against it. That bill now heads to the Senate. Well, if you like to bet on sports, I've got some good news for you. Speaking of money, the Racing Commission approved the sports betting license for the Saracen Casino Annex and Pine Bluff, and a lot of people are hitting it up. Starting today, you can now bet on your favorite sports teams. The casino held a ribbon cutting just about an hour ago at 11. Last Friday, they had a soft grand opening, and thousands of people showed up, and they were there all weekend. An agreement between Arkansas law enforcement and Immigration and Customs Enforcement means changes for undocumented immigrants. Craighead County Sheriff Marty Boyd signed what's called a 28-7 agreement. That just happened in the past week. That means state and local law enforcement officers may be deputized to enforce federal immigration laws. What does this mean? Sheriff Boyd says the detention center will not house ICE inmates, but officers may inform ICE that they have some undocumented immigrants. Then ICE transfers them to the facility of their choice.
I can assure them that, the 287G program through Craighead County is not targeting anyone. What we are looking at is targeting people that's broken the law.
Sheriff Boyd hopes the agreement will cut down on identification times for those ICE inmates. Because health matters, we all know that studying is so important to get good grades in college, but you also got to get some sleep. Now researchers suggest that sleep is just as important. Scientists studied data from about 100 engineering students. Those who constantly had good sleep, they were more likely to get better grades. The time when students also went to bed, very important. Those who went to sleep before 2 a.m. performed better than those who went to bed a lot later. Well, the Rogers Fire Department received $200,000 in a grant to purchase some new patient cots. Captain Dennis Thurman with the Rogers Fire Department says the new state-of-the-art cots are fully automatic. This not only helps those patients get more ease on and off that cot, but EMS workers also have the ability to remove people with back injuries without hurting them.
We can lower those right to the patient's side, put those patients on those, and then again those can move somewhat independently of each other, and then again that really takes the zero lifting from the paramedic crew.
Thurman says the grant will purchase 5 cots for the department.